Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most impactful books on personal development, Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you've ever felt stuck, like you're not making progress, or if you just want to understand how to make good habits stick and bad ones disappear, you're in the right place. So, what are atomic habits? James Clear uses the word atomic in two ways. First, it means something incredibly small, the single, irreducible unit of a larger system. And second, it refers to a source of immense power. An atomic habit is a tiny change, a 1% improvement that becomes the building block for remarkable results. It's not about massive overhauls. It's about small, consistent wins that compound over time. Think about this. If you can get just 1% better every day, you'll end up 37 times better after 1 year. But if you get 1% worse each day, you'll decline nearly down to zero. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. The effects are small in the daily moment, but massive over months and years. The core of the book is a simple, four-step framework for building any good habit and breaking any bad one. It's called the 4 Ns of behavior change. Every habit, good or bad, follows the same cycle: cue, craving, response, and reward. Let's break down each law and how you can use it to build a powerful system for change. First law, make it obvious. This is about the cue. You can't change a habit if you aren't aware of its trigger. So step 1 is simple awareness. James Clear suggests creating a habit scorecard. Just list out your daily habits and mark them with a plus for good, a minus for bad, or an equal sign for neutral. Don't judge yourself, just observe. Then, to build a new good habit, you need to make the cue impossible to miss. 2 powerful techniques are implementation intentions. Be super specific. Don't just say, "I'll exercise more." Say, "I will do 20 push-ups at 7 a.m. in my bedroom." And habit stacking. Tie the new habit to an existing one. The formula is, after I pour my coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. And to break a bad habit, you invert this law. Make it invisible. Reduce your exposure to the cue. If you waste time on your phone, leave it in another room. If you eat too much junk food, don't keep it in the house. Second law, make it attractive. This is about the craving. The more attractive an opportunity is, the more likely it is to become a habit. To make good habits attractive, use temptation bundling. Pair something you want to do with something you need to do. The formula is, after I do 10 burpees, that's the habit I need to do, I will check my favorite social media app. That's the habit I want to do. You're making the hard habit more attractive by linking it to immediate gratification. Also, we imitate the habits of 3 groups. The close, that's family and friends, the many, our tribe, and the powerful, those with status. So, one of the best things you can do is join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. Want to get fit? Surround yourself with people who value fitness. To break a bad habit, invert this law. Make it unattractive. Highlight the benefits of avoiding the bad habit. Reframe your mindset. Instead of thinking, "I have to quit smoking," think, "I get to have healthier lungs and more energy." Third law, make it easy. This is about the response. Human behavior follows the law of least effort. We naturally gravitate toward the option that requires the least amount of work. So the key is to reduce friction. To build a good habit, you need to make it easy. The most famous strategy here is the 2-minute rule. It states, when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. The goal isn't to do the habit for 2 minutes, but to start the habit. You're mastering the art of showing up. Read before bed becomes read 1 page. Do 30 minutes of yoga becomes take out my yoga mat. Run 3 miles becomes tie my running shoes. Once you've started, it's much easier to continue. You're not planning for a marathon on day 1. You're just focusing on putting on your shoes. Also, prime your environment for success. Want to practice guitar? Put it on a stand in the middle of the living room. Want to eat healthier? Chop up fruits and veggies on the weekend so they're easy to grab. To break a bad habit, invert this law. Make it difficult. Increase the friction. Unplug the TV after each use and put the remote in another room. Uninstall distracting apps from your phone. Fourth law, make it satisfying. This is about the reward. We are more likely to repeat a behavior when the experience is satisfying. This is crucial because the outcomes of good habits are often delayed, while the outcomes of bad habits are often immediate. The cardinal rule of behavior change is what is immediately rewarded is repeated. What is immediately punished is avoided. To make a good habit satisfying, you need to add a little bit of immediate pleasure. The most effective way is with a habit tracker. Get a calendar and put a big X on every day you stick with your habit. Don't break the chain. This is visually satisfying and provides clear evidence of your progress. And here's a pro tip for when you inevitably slip up. Never miss twice. The first mistake is just an accident. Don't let it become a new bad habit. Get back on track immediately. Perfection is not the goal. Consistency is. Now this is the foundation, but how do you make these habits stick for the long haul? And how do you go from being merely good to being truly great? Let's unlock the next level. First, let's talk about breaking really stubborn bad habits. We need to make them not just difficult, but truly unsatisfying. There's a powerful story about a negotiation expert during the Cold War who suggested that the nuclear launch codes should be implanted in a capsule next to a volunteer's heart. The president would have to personally kill that one innocent person before he could launch missiles. The idea was horrifying, and that was the point. It made the abstract consequence of war immediately, viscerally unsatisfying. This is where an accountability partner comes in. Knowing someone is watching creates an immediate social cost to skipping your habit. You don't want to be seen as lazy or untrustworthy. You can take it even further with a habit contract. This is a verbal or written agreement where you state your commitment and the punishment for failing. One entrepreneur had a contract with his wife and trainer. If he missed logging his food, he had to dress up in a suit for work every day and pay his trainer. It worked. He made failure painful and public. Now, how do you ensure your good habits are satisfying for a lifetime? You need to play a game where the odds are in your favor. Think about athletes. Michael Phelps would be a terrible marathon runner, and a champion runner would be a terrible swimmer. Genes don't determine your destiny, but they determine your areas of opportunity. Your unique genetic traits shape your personality. The key is to direct your effort toward areas that both excite you and match your natural skills. Ask yourself, what feels like fun to me but work to others? What makes me lose track of time? Where do I get greater returns than the average person? If you can't find a game that favors you, create one by combining your skills. Be a unique blend of talents. Okay, you've picked the right habits. Now how do you stay motivated forever? The answer is the Goldilocks rule. Humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. Not too hard, not too easy, just right. But here's the truth no one tells you. The greatest threat to success is not failure, but boredom. We get bored once a habit becomes routine. The outcome is no longer novel. Anyone can work hard when they feel motivated. It's the ability to keep going when the work isn't exciting that makes the difference. Professionals stick to the schedule.
amateurs let life get in the way. You have to fall in love with the boredom. And that leads us to the final, crucial point: the downside of good habits. Habits are the backbone of mastery, but the downside is that once a habit is automatic, you stop paying attention to little errors. You fall into mindless repetition. You assume you're getting better because you're experienced, but you're often just reinforcing your current habits, not improving them. The solution? Habits plus deliberate practice equals mastery. You need a system for reflection and review. A famous basketball coach created a career best effort program, tracking detailed stats for each player and challenging them to improve by just 1%. You can do this too. Conduct a monthly review. Ask yourself, what went well? What didn't? What did I learn? This reflection prevents complacency. And finally, be careful with your identity. The more tightly you cling to a single identity, like I'm a CEO, I'm an athlete, the harder it is to grow beyond it. Instead of I'm an athlete, try I'm the type of person who is mentally tough and loves a physical challenge. This makes your identity flexible, like water flowing around an obstacle. So what's the ultimate secret to results that last? The most powerful takeaway from Atomic Habits is the focus on systems and identity, not just goals. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Every time you write a page, you are a writer. Every time you practice the violin, you are a musician. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. It's not a single 1% improvement. It's 1,000 of them. It's continuously cycling through the 4 laws. Success is not a goal to reach. It's a system to improve, an endless process to refine. So start small. Make that 1% improvement. Build a system of atomic habits, and you'll be amazed at the incredible power you can unlock. Tiny changes, remarkable results. Thanks for listening. Now go out there and build your atomic habits.